Good morning and welcome to Just for the Health of It. I'm Janet Jacks, your host, and I'm glad you've joined us. Today on our program, what do you do when a loved one can't eat? Whether because of illness, hospitalization, pregnancy nausea, supersensitivity to textures and flavors, eating disorders, small appetite, or digestive complaints. Well, our first guest has some answers for you. The scoop on salt, feeding your beneficial bacteria, what is SIBO, and a condensed opportunity this summer to discover for yourself the power food has for you. And now I'd like to introduce our first guest. With me in studio this morning, we have David Whalen. Welcome to you, David.
Thank you very much, Janet.
David has worked in the natural health industry for 18 years in a variety of roles, including sales, management, and product development. He has an academic focus in nutrition, family studies, psychology, and traditional holistic medicine. He is the co-founder of N8ked Brands and wants to grow, learn, and improve every day with the goal of helping others do the same. And that is a great goal. David, tell us, why did you get interested in nutrition?
I think, to be honest with you, as a child, I had issues around food. I become passionate over the time seeing people struggle with weight, whether it is weight loss or weight gain, different challenges. I think seeing children without food, seeing elderly pass, those types of things, I think has always been a passion of mine and wanting to help those individuals.
Mm-hmm. You also spoke about your grandmother.
Um, my grandmother passed away a couple years ago, and I think typically family gravitate to really poor food choices in hopes of trying to feed people. Um, and I think it became a passion of mine to find something that was a better option for her. Um, I've even spent some time in the hospital setting, and seeing the options that are available. Really, it didn't sit well with me, and I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to provide those individuals with something that was a better option.
Now, when you began your university studies,
Mhm.
you headed toward being a dietitian. Tell us about what happened.
um, I spent my time in university studying to be a dietitian, and had a lot of struggles with the way things were being presented, the information that was being presented. I struggled with the direction of my studies at the time, and wanted to explore more. I wanted more answers. It just didn't feel right. It was you know, a very challenging way of looking at health, and I didn't see people healing from the way
Mm-hmm.
that we were being taught.
I understand you did a mentorship for a time with children who were sick, and you were trying to help kids with the disease get better, but
Mhm.
the parameters under which you were working weren't working.
Um, I- so I did some mentorship with young children that are going through disease. Part of my schooling, actually, and what I found difficult was, watching children that are struggling with things like cancer, um, or other disorders, and trying to teach them ways that we were being taught that I just really didn't feel were going to create a better quality of life. And at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, especially looking at a child, you want to see happiness.
Mm-hmm. So you became disillusioned with the path that you were on.
Yeah, I think so. I've spent, I guess, an additional 10 years beyond that studying holistic medicine and studying Ayurveda. Mentoring with master herbalists, and really looking for real traditional answers in medicine that's a lot older than what we're accustomed to.
Mm-hmm. Answers that work.
Yes,
Answers
yes,
that work, that have stood the test of time.
yes.
That is true. Now, as you were thinking about um, being a product developer, bringing something that was missing for people who needed it, what kinds of individuals did you have in mind?
Well, closest to my heart was obviously my grandmother, that was struggling through, having a broken hip and heart surgeries, and obviously, elderly community generally is not eating a lot of food. I have two young children, and uh, watching those children, at times with the flu, those types of things, pregnancy, um, people struggling through cancer that are just trying to maintain body weight and get enough
Mhm.
food, calories, protein into their system.
Mhm.
I think there's many people within our family that are just unable, and even looking beyond that into communities globally, or that just cannot afford to get enough protein into their diet.
Mhm.
Those were all options that really, were strong in my heart.
So you really have a heart to provide something that wasn't there. I mean, aren't there good options for people in this situation?
I think, the there's so much misinformation out there. I think that in Canada we have a reasonably good medical system, but at the same time, we're taking nutritional advice from practitioners that don't spend a whole lot of time in the nutrition field. We're consuming products that are made by large pharmaceutical companies with the goal of being high margin items that make them money more than they do heal or provide health.
Mhm.
And that's a big concern when you look at ingredients that are being suggested to people that might be struggling through chemotherapy or cancers or other eating disorders, and they're consuming foods that are just nutritionally empty and potentially dangerous. I mean, those I find that's a very misleading way to
Mhm.
prescribe.
So some of these meal replacement products that are used for people who are having trouble eating aren't super nourishing, basically, and also have ingredients that are undesirable that are not there to heal.
Yeah, I think you're going to notice in a lot of these ingredients, coloring agents, artificial flavoring agents, preservatives, things like maltodextrin. In a lot of foods that are considered meal replacements, some of their first ingredients are maltodextrins, and maltodextrins really provide no nutritive value, and they're very high glycemic, even though they're not listed as sugar.
Mhm.
Um, they're very impactful on the glycemic load within the body.
Mhm. So you developed a product that could be a far better alternative, not just a little bit better,
Mhm.
but a lot better than what's currently on the market, with the purpose of helping people in these compromised situations actually healing their body, not just surviving another day.
It's hard to be everything to everyone,
Yes.
but I wanted to create a product that was better than the options that are available, and I wanted to create a product that I was comfortable giving to my young children. I think it's one thing to talk about, myself or an adult, but when you're talking about children, it's really close to home. Um, you want something to be safe that they can
Hmm.
consume, and then you start talking about people that, again, are going through different types of therapies, different types of medical complications, and the options are extremely limited. So yes, I wanted to create something that people would love to take, would be very easy to consume, that tasted great, and would provide the macronutrients that would provide them some sustainability of life.
Hmm. So tell us about what you called your product
Mhm.
and what it provides for people. What's in it?
So we created a product called Naked Calorie Plus, or Naked Calorie Plus Shake. Some of you may have seen it already on shelves. Essentially, it is a product that is designed to provide macronutrients. And when I say that, you're looking at protein, carbohydrates, and fats for individuals, again, that are struggling with potential eating disorders, maybe young children that are not eating, school programs, elderly, again, those medical complications that we mentioned, pregnancy, somebody that might be struggling through the flu and not able to consume food. And there's a number of different digestive disorders. Um, there is a medical term called involuntary weight loss, where no matter what people try to eat, they're continually losing weight, sort of at a rapid pace. And this is a product that can hopefully help to prevent that and support individuals that are going through it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think the biggest factor is it's very palatable. It's very easy to consume. And people that are struggling in those situations find it difficult to consume proteins or consume those calories if they don't
Let's
like
take
it.
a look at what's in it. What are people getting when they use the naked calorie plus shake?
Well, I think sometimes to answer the question, what's in it is almost better to say what's not in it. We're it's a non-GMO product, which in my opinion is a big deal. It's so we're free of those pesticides and those types of things that you may see with other products. We are lactose free. We're casein free. We're gluten free. We are peanut free as well as nut free. And we don't use any corn or corn byproducts.
And soy free, I
We're
think
also
you
soy
said as
free as
well.
well.
Hmm. So, and no maltodextrin.
We don't use any maltodextrins. Again, we wanted to try to be as low glycemic as we possibly could. In some scenarios, diabetics can use it. We always recommend that you monitor your blood sugar and that you speak to a practitioner about it for safety, obviously. But we wanted it a low glycemic product.
Now, in addition to having the things that aren't in there, when someone consumes this, what are the things you actually wanted to give them?
So in one serving, a full serving, you're going to receive roughly 300 calories, which for the average person is not a lot, but it's a reasonable amount to get you started. It's 20 grams of protein. The protein is coming from a grass-fed New Zealand whey isolate. We also include coconut milk in this product, so it tastes and texture is really nice. And that provides some really healthy fats, some MCT oils that are naturally occurring. We have an organic freeze-dried sweet potato powder, and we also include an organic patent on a probiotic.
Let's talk about that probiotic for a minute. Probiotics are so important to help the digestion, the immune system. So, compromised individuals generally, if they're not gaining weight properly, if they're losing weight, if they're going through different treatments, if they're convalescing or recovering, they generally will benefit from probiotics. How much is in there?
So we provide a patented probiotic called Gnidin BC30. And it provides 1 billion, and it's a patented Bacillus coagulans. And what I mean by that is we have human clinical trials to support the efficacy of that probiotic.
So that is good. What kind of benefits or research are we seeing on this BC30? What does the research say that it will do?
So the current studies that are available on that specific strain or that specific probiotic are showing to support the immune system, to support carbohydrate and protein metabolism, and obviously support the digestive health.
You also mentioned that it is heat stable, which is interesting.
Yeah, some of the great options with our product, obviously you can put it in a shaker cup and mix it up and drink it. But we wanted a product that was, fun and easy and the whole family could enjoy. So you can put it in a coffee. You can make hot chocolates with it. You could cook with it if you'd like. You could make popsicles with it, puddings. So it makes it easy for somebody that's in a challenge situation to consume in multiple different ways. We've even created like a lactose, dairy, or milk-free, I should say, version of an eggnog. So you can just add some nutmeg to it and use that in the wintertime. And different options as well.
So very versatile. And you're saying that if we use a heat application with it, putting it into our coffee, that's a unique way to get nutrition. Or making a hot chocolate with it, this is not going to affect the probiotic.
No, the probiotic's designed to be heat stable. Again, it's a patent. It's one of the most respected probiotics that's available on the market. If you are going to cook with it for a duration of time, they do recommend that you add a little bit extra.
You'll lose a
powder.
little bit if you cook with it.
Yes.
I can't imagine why you'd need to do so. I think if you wanted a hot beverage, you would just add hot water, right?
I've made pancakes for my
Oh, I
children
see. Okay.
using it. So you get a protein pancake, and a lot of the ingredients that you would put in a pancake is already in the product.
Right.
We've had people make like protein cookies.
Okay,
Um,
so then you are heating it for a longer time.
yes,
Then there could be a little loss of the probiotic power. So using a
yes,
bit more product will keep that
yeah.
function of the probiotic there. But of course, it's far more than just the probiotics. You're looking for a way to give people who are having difficulty eating what they should for one reason or another
Mhm.
the nutrients they need in a way that's easy to take. And I love all the ideas that you have, you know, making a pudding. So I guess you could drink it or just make it a little less water and you've got a pudding.
Yes, I thank you very much. By the way, I can't take all the credit. We've had a lot of support from people that have tried it, and a lot of the community that's been using the product are coming up with these fun ideas and how to make it, unique and different. The best part I think about a lot of the recipes that we're suggesting is you really just need to add water. It tastes amazing with water. You don't need to
Well, I
add other
did try
things.
it and it was very delicious and very easy to dissolve. I didn't have a shaker cup when I tried it. I just stirred it and it, it it's great. The other thing that's interesting about it is the amount of liquid you put with it is small. And usually when we think about a shake, we've got, a cup or a cup and a half or more of a shake. And this might be great for some people. But I think about my own mom. She was diagnosed with fourth stage cancer when she was 84. And we were told she had 1 to 6 months to live, probably 1 month, because it had metastasized to the bone. But she lived for 4 years and 3 months. And most of that time she was well and could eat lots of healthy food. But in the last little while, she couldn't handle something big. So if I tried to get her to take protein in some form, she didn't want it frothy. She didn't want me to shake anything. She didn't want me to put it in the blender, and she didn't want it big. And so trying to find a way to put protein into something small was a challenge. And uh, I did find a way, but I know that most people wouldn't know how to do that. It won't mix into juice, for example. It
Mhm.
just won't mix without putting it in the blender, and then it's frothy, and she didn't like that. This just stirred in. It was very smooth. I thought my mom would have loved it. She would have been able to consume that. So I can see the value in certain circumstances that you're just putting a small amount of water, just a little over half a cup
Mhm.
for an adult serving or a quarter cup for a child serving. So this is a manageable amount of food for somebody who, even someone who's had um, their gastrointestinal tract be all in a snarl and they
Mhm.
just need a little bit, but something that can give them nourishment. I can see how that would be benefit.
Yeah, I think when you're dealing with children, I have two young boys, and I can tell you that in a sippy cup, they're not going to drink a lot of fluid in one sitting.
Hmm.
If they've had a fever or a flu, and you're trying to get them something because you're a little nervous that they're not consuming any fluids or food or calories, it makes it very easy for them to consume something that they'll like. And again, the elderly community or somebody that's struggling that doesn't want to eat
Hmm.
food, having a small serving size where they're still getting a quality amount of
Hmm.
calories is definitely beneficial.
Hmm. And it flies in the face of so many people are focused on weight loss, weight loss.
Hmm.
But there are times when we actually need to make sure we're eating a sufficient amount. For example, in pregnancy, if we just can't prepare food, we've got nausea and we can't eat a lot. Perfect. Or perhaps people with eating disorders would be able to drink that small amount and get something that was essential for them. And you also mentioned that you think it could be of interest to the autism community. Explain.
So it's actually come to us, and it's great because we wanted a product to help people, but we've had a lot of parents in the autism community that's been contacting us, letting us know that's a product that their children enjoy, that they haven't been able to find anything that's been a healthy option. And so, for those that aren't aware with autism, those children have a heightened sense of or sensory, so their taste, smell, texture to things. All of that is heightened beyond what we would say would be a normal child, if we could use that term. So in saying that, it's an opportunity. The palatability of this product is really the strength of it, because it mixes so well. You don't need a lot of fluid. It literally, you open the container and smell it. It smells like, you know,
so it can be
incredibly.
very appealing to someone who's super sensitive to those kind of things.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Now, you called your product Naked Calorie Plus Shake.
Mhm.
Um, how did you develop that name? What was your purpose?
And, I think at the end of the day, we wanted to see people to realize that it's not all about protein. Um, you know, we wanted to be able to provide, again, those macronutrients. We wanted people to know that, if they're struggling to get that food or those calories or those nutrients into the body, that this product was more than just a protein product. Our protein that we're using is extremely efficient. It's very bioavailable, and you don't need a lot of it to get the same results as you may with other proteins.
But the transparency was what really got me interested.
So we use the brand name N8ked because we wanted something that really said the product is transparent. We don't have additives. We don't have fillers. We're not going to use marketing fluff to try to confuse consumers. Or we want it to be real. We want it to be free of that clothing per se that maybe other brands. We don't want to be all about profits.
And I love that. Now, it tastes really sweet to me, but you're telling me it has a pretty low glycemic index.
Yeah, we really focus hard on providing ingredients that were low on the glycemic index scale. We wanted something that doesn't have a high insulin impact. We did our best to go there with that.
One last thing. The Naked 8 says, I mean, you tell me it's free of all the allergens, but it says it may contain trace amounts of egg, sesame, soy, and sulfite. So very briefly, why is that there if it doesn't have those things in it?
Essentially, when you manufacture a product in a facility, a lot of these manufacturers manufacture other products. We have sent this product out for multiple regulatory testing. We've sent it for legal review. Our labels are completely compliant to what Health Canada essentially demands, and especially because we're putting a child serving on the bottle, that really brings things up. But yeah, we have to put that. We don't use those ingredients in the product. We send it for third-party testing.
Okay, so they're not there. That you just have to put that on because of the facility.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to leave it there. Very interesting. David Whalen, our guest, he is the co-founder of N8ked Brands, and he's here to help develop products that are going to help others to grow and develop in the ideal way. And so I want to thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you very much for your time.
David Whalen in our studio. And we'll be back with more of Just for the Health of It right after the news.